And welcome to Hannity, and thank you for being with us. The New Hampshire primary is now in the books. Donald Trump is now 2 for 2, but Nikki Haley is vowing to move forward. And coming up tonight, the very latest fallout, the polls, analysis, and we look ahead to Nevada and South Carolina. Now, also tonight, we're going to bring you a very special interview with Vice President Harris. Apparently, the border czar has now dedicated more time and effort to correcting her height on Wikipedia than actually securing our wide-open southern border that they keep telling us and lying to us is closed and totally secure. Meanwhile, despite not campaigning in New Hampshire, it has been a very trying week for your commander-in-chief, Joe Biden. Just take a look.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
We're going to give you multiple opportunities tonight to be able to decipher and determine what it is he actually said there. Because not only is Biden now slurring his speeches, but he's also getting heckled and getting heckled repeatedly by members of his own party. They now are calling him Genocide Joe, and that's not all. Last night's results out of New Hampshire were, well, frankly, pretty embarrassing for Joe Biden. You have a congressman. How many of you really have heard anything about Dean Phillips, who, few people have heard of him? He took 21% of the vote. Marianne Williamson took another 5%. And Biden won the state with, 55% of the vote? The lowest total for a sitting Democratic president since Jimmy Carter. In the Republican primary, Trump pulled off yet another double-digit win in a hotly contested race against former Ambassador Nikki Haley. And between her campaign and super PACs, well, nearly $30 million was spent on Governor Haley in the state of New Hampshire. That's twice the amount spent by former President Trump. And Haley also got a big boost from independents and Democrats who registered as independents in order to vote in the state's open primary system. Now, according to even a CNN exit poll, a whopping 70% of Haley voters in New Hampshire, they were not registered Republicans. And still, Donald Trump pulled off a double-digit win amid record turnout in the Granite State. They had a huge turnout. And the next contest is in Nevada, where Haley is not even on the ballot in the state's caucus. And then from there, Trump and Haley, they'll face off in South Carolina. Now, this is Nikki Haley's home state, where not long ago she was a popular governor. And yet, according to the Real Clear Politics average, Donald Trump is up by 30 points in the state of South Carolina. Nikki Haley, she's facing a steep uphill battle. So it's no surprise that she and Donald Trump are now exchanging barbs. Politics, it's simply spoken, it's just a blood sport. And like almost every primary, the race gets heated at some point, and it's getting to that point. Haley claims she is more electable than Donald Trump. But according to a brand new Messenger Harris poll, Trump is now beating Biden by a whopping 7 points in a hypothetical matchup. That's more than double Haley's lead against Biden in a recent poll. And needless to say, the mob, the media, simply, they're just terrified. They're scared to death. Take a look.
What we are looking at here is an extremist MAGA base that is motivated by the politics of grievance, and that is Donald Trump incarnate.
What did you think about the Tim Scott moment on the stage with Trump?
I mean, I've called this the great emasculation of the Republican Party. Trump has completely emasculated these guys.
There are few moments in my life I've been more embarrassed than to watch Tim Scott, who, I know Tim and I are both practicing Christians, but I don't know if he could pray like that to the other side. I mean, it was humiliating to watch what Tim Scott did.
No one will remember the margin of victory after tonight, but people will remember that speech, which was vicious, even vile.
What he's offering is strongman leadership, the end of politics, the end of elections, the end or the sidelining or domesticating, as Ruth Ben-Ghiat says, of the judiciary and the Congress. He'll be the man in charge and he'll get it done. And that's what he's selling. And that's what they are very eager to buy.
Attacking African-American conservatives, that's fair game, as per usual. Now, for the better part of a decade, so-called journalists, they're not journalists, in America breathlessly reported that the sky is falling, Donald Trump's to blame. Year after year, they predicted the collapse of our great American republic, democratic republic, and told us that Donald Trump would lead us to World War III. And oh, my goodness, he's going to have control of our nuclear arsenal. In reality, the exact opposite turned out to be true. Why? Because under President Trump, we had peace. Under Biden, we have war. Under Trump, we had almost no inflation and record low interest rates. Under Biden, Americans are getting squeezed every single day. 60% of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck. Under Trump, we had secure borders. Under Biden, well, wide open borders, a wave of unvetted, illegal immigrants like we've never seen before, close to 10 million, if not over 10 million. Every single thing you can think of is worse under Joe Biden. Housing is unaffordable. Homelessness up all over the place. Crime, how's that defund, dismantle, no bail laws, and reimagining the police working? Crime is up everywhere. Overdose deaths, they're reaching record levels as well. American democracy is being ripped to shreds by rogue activist judges and state officials. We have parents at school board meetings and pro-life activists that are marching peacefully, being targeted by Joe Biden's DOJ for not staying on message. And so much is at stake this coming November, about 285 days away. Well, I won't tell anyone what to do with their campaigns. I never have. I'm not going to start now. But when the Republican primary is over, it is vitally important that everybody come in the GOP, everybody in that caucus, they better come together to beat Joe Biden. And they better get smart when it comes to voting early, voting by mail, overcoming that resistance and that reluctance. And also, Democrats, they're practicing something called legal ballot harvesting, states that allow it. Well, Republicans better match and surpass those efforts in 2024 so they don't start out election night down hundreds of thousands of votes. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.